recording on Facebook. And did we warn him about what we do?
Well, you know the Business Bros thing, right? At the beginning?
Don't. Oh, is it where Business Bros?
Yeah. He's good.
All right.
Are you ready?
And at the end of the show,
you're gonna tag somebody
who
you think would be a great person to have on the show.
Sure.
All right. That all got
I just
caught
assumed
That all got caught for the YouTube.
Oh, that's
whatever.
cool. No worries.
All right. Well, we are going to record the podcast in 3, 2, 1. Except I didn't do the thing.
Oh, all right.
The thing is
rescan audio devices. Yeah, I got to do the thing.
The thing.
All right, here we go.
All right, you ready?
Now let's try it again. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of
Business Bros.
What
Love
up?
it.
What
I
up?
love it.
What up, ladies and gentlemen? See, now
Such good
the
energy.
energy gets a little crazy.
Such good
right?
energy.
There we go.
Facebook gets to see the little behind the scenes. It's not so exciting, the behind the scenes, a little bit of setup. But once the audio button gets hit, the record button goes off, and boom.
Now I got to take my jacket off and like,
Yeah.
woo, woo, woo.
Now we're ready to rock and roll.
It really does. It makes a difference between, having the Facebook Live and like saying what's up to everybody. Hey, what's going on? And the actual just back of your head knowledge that we're recording the podcast now just changes everything.
Yeah, the dynamic of the show. Like, energy's up. Boom.
Yep. That's why we business bros it up right at the beginning.
Yeah,
business
you have
bros.
to. Yeah, I mean, we got a
Gets
little
it
bit of
going.
slack from some people. Like, that's corny. You do that every show?
That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
That's how catchphrases happen.
Exactly. That's my point, right? And it works because now when I go out and talk to different people who've been on the show or people who've listened to the show, they're like, "What up, business bros?" Like, it's just a call sign.
And one more time, as an introduction, we have with us today on the show a very special guest, Mr. Kevin Pheley from Lazy Cow Media. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Pleasure having you. Kevin's going to school us on some Facebook stuff today. And I'm excited because I got a ton of questions, even though to everybody else who watches the Facebook program or the podcast, right? They see Facebook. They know we do video. Our videos better than most other videos because we've evolved over time. But I still consider myself a Facebook rookie because I don't utilize it to its max potential. Right. And the max potential is, honestly, this is one of the things I need to start saying, because I need to just disclose myself the more and more content we're going to put out, is I'm a copycat. I probably don't really have an original thought in my head. I have an accumulation of thoughts from everybody, whether you're an author, whether you're a podcaster, whether you're, somebody else, some sort of influence has popped into my head. And so stuff I talk about, it's because I've incorporated into my life.
Right.
So, video is one of those things. Content is one of those things. Facebook is one of those things. Prior to the podcast, I didn't personally use Facebook hardly at all. It was just kind of like check an email thing. Oh, what's going on in life?
Right.
Now it's a totally different ballgame.
Yep.
Now it's totally different. Now I see it as, this is a billboard. I need to get this billboard in front of as many people as possible.
Yep.
Right? And I'm barely scratching the surface.
Gary Vaynerchuk says, I'm not putting out enough content. I put out hundreds of pieces of content every day. It's like, think of how screwed you guys are.
Yeah.
Right. To anybody that's not putting out content, it's just like we're in a real estate land grab, but it's digital.
Yep.
It's not a physical land grab. Like this is. I don't think people realize how much of this you can monetize.
Right. And I mean, we're definitely on the cusp. I was telling you a little bit before the show, I got a couple buddies that are going to be following us and basically documenting more and more of what we do on a daily basis, which allows me to go out and talk to more and more people, but live on the field, in their offices or at their place of business, to capture, the conversations that we have. There's a ton of stuff that we talk about that doesn't get recorded that I think so many people would benefit from. And it's maybe stuff I know, but maybe stuff they know. Right. And it's just more and more and more content. And the way I pitched them was pretty simple. It was this. There is so much attention out there that needs to be grabbed, right? It's a Gary Vaynerchuk thing. And right now, every time we go out to talk to people, the show's going to be about them. The show's always about you or the next guest. It's about them. It's always about them. And the more we do that, the more we're going to peel off little bits of their audience, little bits of their audience, little bits of their audience. And then before we know it, there's going to be a transition somewhere. And the show's going to stop being about them and it's going to start being about me.
Right.
And at that point is when the monetizing can really happen.
Right.
Because the attention is about you. but that's a 3, 4, 5 year project.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about that? People look at Facebook and they're like, I put an ad on and I didn't make any money off it. This Facebook doesn't work.
Right. Oh man, I hear that every day, right? Because I talk about that. I have probably 50 conversations a day, and I hear that a lot. And people expect it to be this magic formula because they don't see the hard work that people put in. They don't see the strategy that goes on. They just see people that are getting money from Facebook. And they don't see the bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine this: you shake somebody's hand, you meet them at a grocery store, and say, "Hey, let me sell your house for you."
They're gonna say, "Sure, buddy, whatever."
Yeah, I'll call you back.
Yeah,
I'll
let me call you later.
Yeah, yeah. So the whole thing is like there's no relationship built, right? So people need to KLT. They need to know you, like you, and trust you. And if you don't have a strategy to follow up with people to build a relationship on Facebook, on Instagram, anywhere else, you're not going to get it.
Yeah, it's funny because we would always say prior to doing a lot of social media stuff and really understanding how social media is helping and how to utilize it. Like I said, this is more of a long-term play. I would always say, and I would always learn that people often, real estate agents, any type of business in the sales world anyways, doesn't really have a lead generation problem. Most of them can generate leads pretty easily. Like you said, at the store, just talking to any random people, getting a referral. They don't have a lead generation problem. They have a follow-up problem.
100%.
Right? And then the problem lies in you've made a connection, but that's all you've done. You haven't established, you haven't nurtured the relationship. You haven't, you don't have a best friend because you met them one time. Yep. Right. And you're trying to build those relationships without that. I mean, knowing is one thing, liking is another, trusting is completely different.
Yep.
And those are all phases in the follow-up.
Right.
That's why me personally, that's why when you hear things like I tried one Facebook ad and it didn't work, well, it's because nobody trusts you. Are you selling a t-shirt?
Right.
Because there's a difference between selling a t-shirt and selling a house, and it's a couple zeros at the end.
Right.
Right. But that's the transactional, that's the relationship part of that transaction. You can sell a t-shirt pretty quick, pretty easy to pretty much anybody. If the t-shirt's cool.
Right.
But the house, that's a relationship.
Yep.
So to walk me a little bit through like prospecting through Facebook, and then what kinds of things are you like trying to get people to do to help them take those leads and make them a little bit better?
So let's focus on the leads that they're getting now. Okay. Like let's say a realtor has an open house, right? Picture the girl you went to high school with that you haven't spoken to in 15, 20 years, right? You're friends with her on Facebook. You know her kids' names. You know that she loves tacos. You know where she went on vacation. You guys have maintained a relationship since high school, but you wouldn't have stayed in contact if it weren't for Facebook.
Right.
So if you can build a trusting relationship long term and feel close to this person without ever talking to them, you can do that with your leads. So we're at an open house. You come in. You're the neighbor just looking to check out what kind of counters the owners of the house have. Mm-hmm. You're just stopping in, no intention on anything. The realtor adds you on Facebook. You guys connect, and boom! Now you just maintain that relationship just like you would the other one. So where they would have walked out of the door and never seen you again, unless maybe you sent a flyer to their house, you door knocked, whatever. You're passively building that relationship with them. And
I like that though, because we live in a totally different world. I think people are much more likely to give you their Facebook handle to jump on because they know that, I'm not really going to talk to this person that much, but I'll add you as a friend.
Yep.
I'm cool with that.
Right.
That is a new way in versus give me your email. I don't want you to send me a bunch of spam.
Right.
I'm good. Right.
So I wish I had my phone, but check this out. If you're a realtor and you go to your messenger on your phone mm-hmm. and you click on the picture on the top left, a scan code will pop up. So it's like a QR code. Oh. So you can print that out and have that on your sign-in sheet. So it's like, hey, either fill out your information here or
just QR me.
Pop open your messenger, scan my code, and we'll be connected.
I like that a lot.
That's money. So people make $1 million from that.
Yeah, no, that's a huge difference. Because you're talking about that right away grows your circle of influence, right? That right away is growing the number of people that you are now placed in contact with. And one of the things that I started doing recently, which I sent you, right, is a video DM. Now I have their contact info.
Yep.
And when they leave the open house, I can be like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller or Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, it was a pleasure meeting you today. I really enjoyed the conversation we had. By the way, if you ever need anything, I'm a step away. Right. And that, I don't know. I don't see. Here's another thing is I don't know how the video is working as far as how you're going to show up on their feed. I don't know if there's a connection between our conversations on Messenger and how my content is going to show up on your Facebook. I'm sure there's some sort of correlation there.
Yeah.
But the fact is we're communicating and you're seeing my information.
Right. So when Oli was on here, you guys talked and you guys brought up something which is really good, which is basically what you just said. It's the relevance. It's being in front of them consistently, right? So I think one thing that you guys said was you drop a comment on their page sometime, they'll see you, they'll recognize you, and then it's gone. Mm-hmm. You do that a couple times, you guys build that relationship, and now you're seeing each other, and it's the equivalent of seeing some girl at Starbucks and walking by and say, oh, hey, Stacy. Oh, hey, see you again. Hey, what's going on? And you guys slowly build that relationship to the point where maybe they'll send you a message. Like I get messages all the time from people. Hey, I'm running this ad. It's not working. Can you show me how to do this?
XYZ.
Sure. Right. And it just opens up that conversation to build more and more trust.
Well, that's kind of the point though, right? That's what you do. And the point that somebody's reaching out to you, it means that they're top of mind. That when they had this specific problem, they thought Facebook, they thought you.
Yep.
Right. And that's the point that we want them to be. That's what we want out of our clients. When they think real estate, they want you thinking of them.
Yep.
That's what every agent is shooting for. And that just makes total sense. It's the consistency. It always comes down to the consistency.
Yep.
How much content are you putting out there? How much are you going out of your way to comment on their information, to learn about them? It's kind of a job.
It is. It totally is. But it's a job that pays well if you do it right.
It is.
So check this out. The Facebook page that we're friends on is a page that I made strictly to network with real estate agents. That's it. That's all it's for. That's the whole mission of it. And I suggest that every realtor out there, every mortgage broker, whatever, have a second personal, so not a business page, but an actual second personal profile with one mission. So if you're a realtor, add all of the people that you meet at open houses. Bring them into one pool. Post content that's relevant to them. Value-based content, because you have to give. You can't just ask for stuff. It's just not how it works. But if you post value-based content, maybe it's about the local market, maybe you're showing what homes you're selling for, whatever, you're going to build that content, or the relationship with them. And who do you think? I mean, if you're showing up first on their timeline all the time because you guys are connected a lot, who do you think they're going to reach out to when they need a house?
So I mean, that was going to be one of my questions anyways. I was going to ask you about the difference between a personal and a business page. Because I know on my personal page, if I mean, I don't know exactly, but if I want to do some ads, how do I get the analytics from my personal page? Is it different from getting the analytics maybe from like my business page? Because my personal page is only going to let me get up to 5,000 people.
Yep.
Right? I mean, don't get me wrong. 5,000 people is great. It's amazing, especially if they're prospective clients. That's a great pool to be fishing out of. But the business profile allows me to go a little bit deeper. It also lets me track a lot more information. So why the personal versus the business page?
Yeah. So Facebook about 2 years ago made a huge update to their algorithm, which basically knocked the knees out of business pages' reach. So by reach, meaning how many people you get in front of when you post. So it used to be that you could post and you could reach 40, 50% of your audience. So if you had 1,000 people, you'd reach a couple hundred people with a post. And that was really valuable to the business, but Facebook wasn't making enough money because everybody's getting this for free. Mm-hmm. So Facebook said, well, these are businesses. They want to get their stuff in front of people. Why don't we start charging them? So that's when they started kind of dropping back the relevance so that when you post, you're not reaching a lot of people. Anybody that's been in business for 5 years and have been, very active on Facebook knows that it came to a dead halt one day. And people were like, man, my whole business model just changed.
But it stopped as far as a free post, right? But if you're using paid advertising through them, then having more of the followers on your business page makes more sense.
It does. Not as much as it used to, though. So Instagram, definitely. You get a lot more organic reach with Instagram. But on Facebook, unless you're paying, it doesn't really make sense. So like if you want to build an audience, and that's great, and you can create what's called a lookalike audience based off that. But I don't think that having 10,000 likes on a Facebook page is worth very much anymore compared to on Instagram.
Oh, so okay. So that's why the personal page.
Because you still have that same kind of reach as you did before with the business pages, but you have it on the personal page still. So if I post right now on Facebook, I'll probably reach, a good amount of people. And if I post that same post on my business page, I'll reach a lot less people, maybe get 2-3 likes.
What about sharing from one page to another?
Yeah, you can. I mean, what I do is I'll post a video from my business page. Okay, so I'll take a video and organically put it on my business page. And then and it's value based. So it's not some sales pitch. It's literally building value. And then what I'll do is I'll share it into a group so that I know. So let's say hey, real estate agents, here's how to get reviews on your Google listing, right? So 3 steps, blah, blah, blah. Video goes out. I share it from my personal page to a group full of real estate agents. Now they all see that. The people that engage with it, I'll retarget outside with an ad. So a group's got, let's say a group has 5,000 people. It's not a huge group.
Right.
If the group's well active and your post gets some
traction.
Yeah, if you get engagement on it, it'll start being shown to more people. And then when people start to engage with it, you can create what's called a lookalike audience. So the people you may know section, that's basically what a lookalike audience is. So it's taking the main characteristics of somebody's habits, their demographics, their likes, whatever. And it's going out and it's finding more people like that. So that if you sell t-shirts or if you're a realtor, it's going to go, okay, a lot of these people are parents that are, on here. They've been looking at pre-qualification for lending, all sort of stuff. And it's going to find another group and it's going to show an ad to them.
So it is beneficial to have a business page. It's just when you're posting, there's nice little strategic ways to put information, because that's what we've done lately. We started our new business profile page. The content generally goes into the business profile page, and then from my personal page, where I have a lot more friends than the business one, then I turn around and I share from my personal page. I share the stuff that's on my business profile.
Yeah.
I share it, and I do exactly that. I share it to groups. I share it on my own timeline, or I'll tag individuals who the information is about or with.
Right.
And that's how I've been doing it, and it seems to be working. But again, I mean, I haven't been one to track the analytics. Can I do that on my personal page? Can I look at like number? I mean, I see views, but can I see like who looked at it other than maybe who liked it?
No, and that's why Facebook wants that split, so that you track analytics and stuff on your business page and you use your personal page for personal reasons. So they don't want people using personal pages for business.
So they're trying to keep you separate.
Absolutely, because that's how they make the money.
All right. Well, what about creating stuff that's great and funny and maybe not business related? Is that something that you might want to do on your business pages too? I mean, you have some fun stuff on your other profiles, right?
Yeah. I try to keep it separate, right? So what I say is the business page is great for advertising. The personal page is great for building the relationship, right? Your personal brand is more important than your business brand, because, if somebody like Gary Vaynerchuk wants to leave his, VaynerMedia or Empathy Wines, he can go start a horse training company and kill it because of his name, right? Now, I mean, that's a pretty basic concept, so...
Yeah, no, that does make sense. So going viral, for example, you made a funny video, right? That's doing relatively well right now. Yep. I mean, really well.
Yeah.
It's doing its thing. If your profile is getting those views, I mean, if that thing goes really well and you cap out on your number of friends, how do you then turn around and use that?
People can still follow you. So they can follow you. So I'm at the 5,000 friend limit on that page, right? The one that we're friends on, I'm not. But the other one, I'm at the 5,000. So if somebody goes to add me as a friend, they can click on add a friend, but it's going to go, this person has reached the limit of 5,000 friends, but you're now following this person. So if you go through, I have like 5,000 friends, and I think I'm followed by like 500 or 400.
So what's the difference between a follow and a friend?
So it's not two ways. If you're following somebody, you can see whatever post that they make public. So if you go on my other page and you try to add me, you'll be following me. And when I post, you'll still be able to see it, comment on it, like it, share it, stuff like that. But we're not friends. So you can still get a good amount of reach. I mean, if you look at somebody like Mark Cuban, like he has like 400,000 followers on his personal Facebook.
Oh, so that friend cap is not really a cap per per se.
As friends. I mean, they really reduce how many people you're going to reach with your post anyways on a personal page. If you have 5,000 friends, there's no way you're reaching all 5,000 with a post. Like, no way.
They're just stopping you.
No, Instagram you can, but not,
So, but Facebook owns Instagram, right?
Yep.
So how does that work? If I'm posting ads on my business profile or I'm not really doing, I mean, I can boost on my personal. I've seen that on my personal. What's the difference between a boost and a purchase?
On your personal Instagram or?
I think on my personal, you know what? I'm not 100% sure. I've just seen the boost button on stuff we put out.
Yeah. No, you can't do it on a personal Facebook. You used to be able to boost. So take a business page, share a personal page's post, and then boost that and pay for that to get out there. But you can't do that anymore. All
right. Do you think it's going to be a trend thing? Do you think this is going to fizzle out after a while?
Social media?
Well, just the way the branding works right now. Everybody's shooting to create some brand, right? And I think they're substituting branding for what we would traditionally call prospecting, because I think there's a big disconnect between the two. I think creating a brand is something that is definitely a long-term effect, something that's long, far-fetched, but it's not something that creates dollars for you today.
Right.
That's something that's taken to a whole new level. So do you think this whole do you think it's going to be something that people finally pick up and understand, and then it's going to just kind of fizzle out because it's going to get too expensive? Or is this going to be something that people don't quite get and are not really ever going to figure this out?
I mean, if you look at millennials versus baby boomers on computers, it's a total technological age gap, right? So I think the younger the people, the more they're around it growing up, I think the more they're going to get it. So no, I think it's just going to change, right? Right now, branding and marketing is all on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, stuff like that. In the future, it's going to be things like VR, so virtual reality, and voice. Alexa
like Ready
skills.
Player One?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, that'd be cool just to go to the store and virtually walk into an Amazon and be like, "Ooh, check out this product," and kind of look at it.
Yep.
And then decide, I want that, ship it to my house.
Done. Yeah.
I mean, that would be sick, dude.
I mean, I think it's going to be a hybrid, right? Where it's not your full, completely into virtual reality, but it's kind of like a half, augmented reality where you have glasses or contact lenses that kind of layer over stuff, kind of like RoboCop,
Dang, dude. That's some cool stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's if you're thinking so forward in advance, right? If you're thinking so far into the future, which I don't know about if I can say so far, things are advancing so quickly. How do you get ready for the next thing? How do you think you should get ready for the next? Gary's one of those who talks about, he has that foresight. He sees where the attention's going, right? Yep. And I can't say that I'm as good. I know I can look back and say, shit, I made some mistakes. I mean, we were talking the other day, literally about, we used to own a computer store, right? Computer repair place. And I remember sitting down with my employee, and he told me, he's like, dude, we should do this Google AdWords thing. It's pretty cool. And I remember telling him, I was like, why would I want to put an ad on Google if we fix computers? Their computer's broken. We should be putting it in the yellow pages. And I mean, literally, that's what happened. And, it's one of those where hindsight, what an idiot. I didn't understand. I didn't clearly see that vision. But we can kind of see where things are going now. We know Alexa. We know Google Home is going to be the next top thing. We know virtual reality is going to be the next top thing. We can clearly see the path.
Right.
Wow. What do you think we should be doing to get ourselves ready for that? At least in the social media social media world.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's really easy to look back on something and be like, man, I should have done that. Yeah. But if you
hindsight,
look at it,
baby.
Think of how many people were crushing it back then. It's really not many. But you got to find out what the people are doing, like Gary, like Grant, all these guys that caught onto these in the beginning and kind of rode the wave early. You got to find out what they're looking for. You don't have to be great at identifying these things. You just need to know who is good at it. Right? So, yeah, I listen to a lot of Gary Vee because he's statistically and historically been correct. So I trust, I know, like, and trust him. And I follow what he says. Could he be wrong? Yeah. I don't think so.
Chances are probably not. I mean, I'm the same way because obviously we're doing the podcast. We're going to be putting more content now. We're trying to take our land grab.
Yeah.
Right? And now it's just a matter of, well, shit, how do I do it right? How do I take advantage of the audience that we're creating? And that's what I know a lot of realtors out there are thinking the same thing, because when they sit in front of the camera and they're ready to record, they're like,
what do I say?
What do I say? Right? Or they get some of the boring stuff where it's like, okay, here, I'm at another open house, and that's great. That's cool. It's not necessarily what we want to see. How do we make it so that we're interesting?
Hang on really quickly. I'm glad that you brought it up. The what do people say? Because we actually have a question from the audience.
Okay.
Mr. Fugatti, Adrian Meek, he said to ask you for your elevator speech.
My elevator pitch?
Elevator pitch.
Okay, sure. Well, my name's Kevin, and I own Lazy Cow Media. And what we do is we teach realtors how to build their brand and grow the trust of their audience so that the 97% of people they normally would lose come back to them.
That's a nice pitch.
That's a great pitch.
Yeah, I like that. Wait, I'm losing 97% of the people I talk to?
Statistically, like 3% will close.
Dude, it's funny because we don't think of that. We think of every time we made a connection, they loved me.
So here's the problem, right? Here's the problem with marketing and advertising right now. Picture this big giant circle, right? This big old circle. Now that's all of the market of people that are going to buy your product in the next, let's say, 3 years, right? There's a little tiny 3% of the circle inside of there. Those are the customers that are going to buy now. People are so focused on trying to get those customers that are buying now that they're missing out on the much bigger pool that isn't coming now but will be. So everybody's shooting for when people are ready. But if you're doing stuff like this, building branding, if you're laying the foundation to catch up with these people later and truly build a relationship and put the work in, then you'll get that much bigger audience. Like the reason why I win a lot more than a lot of marketers is they're not in it for the long haul. Like this is a marathon, not a sprint. Really, every business is. So if you target and I'm not saying miss out on the 3% that are ready to buy now. I'm not going to turn that down, but I'm definitely not going to neglect the other audience because, you hear so many stories of people that, had nothing and then ended up being, like the rags to riches story.
Yeah,
and it's like, you don't want to neglect people like that.
Of course not.
Yeah. So
no, it's funny because it comes down to being that sleazy salesperson, right? You don't want to be that sleazy salesperson, and that sleazy salesperson is a person who's always closing, but always shooting to close right now.
Right.
They don't care about you. They don't care about what your life is about. They don't care about your problems. They don't care about your solutions. They need you to buy this particular product right now.
Yeah.
And that's the person that we all despise. That's the person we don't want to talk to. That's the person whose elevator pitch sucks because you don't care about me.
Yeah, I know.
You want me to close.
So I think something that really sets me apart, and I'm going to brag about myself real quick, but something that does set me apart and I think sets great salespeople apart from those kind of salespeople you're talking about. When you meet with somebody, like don't be afraid to turn somebody down. Frank Kern, if you guys don't know who Frank Kern is, you got to look him up. He is the world's best marketer. But what Frank Kern says is, imagine that the feds came down with this law, and the law says that nobody can pay you money until they are completely happy with your product. It means they get a return on investment. Now, go out and only sell to people that you're confident that are going to get that. Go out and act like you can only sell to the people that are going to be happy, content, fired up with your product, and watch your business blow up.
Yeah, well, it makes a big difference because if you're actually providing a quality service, then people are happy. And when people are happy, they share that happiness with others.
Yep.
And especially others who are going to be in that particular situation. Dude, Mr. Pancho Lopez, right? The greatest salesman in the world. That's his Instagram handle, right?
Instagram name, yep.
Yeah, so the greatest salesman in the world. Dude, nothing but good things that I hear from that guy and from people around him because he nurtures those relationships. He's not trying to sell you every time. He lets everybody knows what he does, but he's all about, let me just, like, I love a video he put out the other day. He's like, this is what I do when I get a check. And
I
he's
saw
like
that
skipping.
go to the bank.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
He's like, dude, that's funny, right?
Yep,
That's a nice way of saying, hey, I closed the deal.
Right.
Without saying, hey, I closed the deal.
Yeah.
That's just him having fun.
Right.
And that's one of those things, like, he literally, in that one post, which made me laugh,
Yep.
he said, I sell homes, I close on the deal, right? You can close. If you need help selling your home, I'm right here for you.
Right.
It literally says that without saying a single word. right? And that's the type of stuff, let your work speak for you. Let your content have fun with it. And he posts all kinds of funny stuff. I love the stuff he does, and I see the engagement that he has on it.
Yeah.
And that's the key. It's the comments, it's the shares, it's the people engaging with him, because he's engaged with them first.
Right. So this is inbound marketing versus outbound marketing. So in the traditional sales cycle, and really how sales have been for the last, forever, has been we go out and we find our audience and we try to close them. Well, now, it's still kind of like that, but the purest form of marketing to build a brand is inbound. Put the stuff in front of them consistently, nurture those relationships, and let them come to you.
It's on its head, dude. It's backwards, but it's true. It's one of those reasons why content is so important. Let me just continue to help educate you. Let me bring you something that you find interesting. Let me keep feeding you, and when you're ready, you're gonna call me.
Right.
That's different. That's completely different from what we were brought up with.
Right.
Because all that stuff, everything from before was, like you said, hey, I'm watching a TV show, cut, buy this, buy this, buy this,
right.
buy this.
Yep.
Right? That's how I grew up anyways. That's what marketing was. It was interruption marketing.
Right.
And that we're done with.
Yeah.
We don't want to see that. I skip every single ad, every DVR I'm fast forwarding, or I'm looking at my phone. I don't have time to see your interruption. I'm going to focus my attention on what I enjoy.
Yeah.
What's a thumb stopper?
Right.
So you got to be a thumb stopper.
Pattern interrupt.
Pattern interrupt. But it's different than it's still pattern interrupt, but it's not a forced pattern interrupt.
Right.
I'm not cutting you off from what you want. I am showing you what you want.
Yep. And this is the whole point of value-based marketing, right? If you give something and you give with no, you're not asking for anything back, and then you retarget people that have consistently watched your value-based videos, then ask, right? It's give, ask. So if I'm a real estate agent, right, here's my go-to-market strategy. I'm going to put out a video as a Facebook ad. I'm going to target people in my area, a certain age demographic that I want to target. I'm going to run an ad, and it's just video 1. Hey guys, I'm Kevin Pheley. I'm a realtor here in the area. Here are 3 big mistakes people make when they're buying their first home. Boom. And they just lay that out. No visit my website, no nothing. No call to action, nothing. People that watch 50% or more of that video,
we retarget again.
Send another video that moves them along. So, hey guys, you're probably watching this because you've seen me before. I just want to tell you that if you're in the San Diego market and you're looking to get approved for a loan, boom, boom, boom. Here are the 3 tips, whatever. Again, nothing. Now you're building that relationship. And then the third one, hey, why don't we, send me a message. Fill out this form. I'll be in contact with you.
Because each one, and basically what you're doing there is the first commercial is just information. There's going to be people who watch. Maybe you retarget people who watch 10 seconds or more, right? Yep. Second commercial is retargeting those exact people that watch those 10 seconds or more. And then the people who watched another 10 seconds or more, they get the call to action. Yeah, so you've nurtured a couple times. This is what Gary Vee talks about when he's like jab, 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 right hook.
Yep, exactly.
Right? And he's literally saying each jab is a little bit of give you in paid content.
Yep.
In paid content until you're ready to ask for it. But you're only asking those who have had interest all the way through.
Yep. And that's it. It's you're not bugging people, right? So when an ad comes on, the gates close. Our guard is up. If we feel like we're being advertised or sold, we're done. We're cutting it all off. Mm-hmm. So when you're giving something consistently, and if I'm receiving something, I'm going to listen, right? I'm getting something. So it only makes sense. And then in the end, people almost feel guilty. Man, this guy gave me so much stuff. If he did all this for free. Yeah.
Gotta buy something.
Yeah. Well, if he can do this for free, what if I pay him?
Yeah, that's a big difference. I like that because that's definitely a clear to me anyways, a clear description of that jab, jab, jab hook. Because I've heard him say it a lot, right? I understand that people keep saying give, and then you'll get back in return. But this is a strategic way of doing it. This is you are paying, you are doing marketing, you are forcing your ad to be in front of a particular audience. But the way you're doing it, you understand that this is 3, maybe 4 different ads of giving before that 4th or 5th one is the call to action.
Right, exactly.
That's money right there. If you timestamp that one, 'cause that one's right there. That's a good one. But that's the clarity, right? That's the simplicity, the clarity that you're coming with, that you're bringing to the table, that you're educating people on, so that they understand how it works. Because honestly, other than that, I know for sure, if I didn't sit down and talk to you, I would have put an ad right off the bat saying, "Hey, dude, you want to buy a home? Hit me up."
Right. Well, that's what most realtors are doing too, and they're going, "Well, Facebook doesn't work." Crumpling up, throw it in the trash.
You're not approaching it right.
It's like, yeah, it's like my car doesn't start. Does it have gas? Is there an engine in there?
Did you check the list?
Yeah.
Go down the list. Did the battery turn on?
Katya loved your quote. If he gives all this for free, what if I pay him?
Yeah.
She said that's a great statement.
That's a great.
Thank you very much.
But that's the key, right? That's the key. I'm fascinated on that little spot right there, just because it, like, a light bulb went off in my head, right?
Yeah.
I've heard it over and over and over again, but it just made sense to me right now.
Right.
You got me all like I got goosebumps.
Good. I love it. So here's how most people are advertising right now. Let's turn all the lights off in here, and I'm going to try and run to the front door. Okay. Well, what's going to happen?
You hit a wall.
You can't hit a target you can't see. You turn the lights on. You have a strategy. You guys have a plan. You know where you're going. You'll get there. But if you don't have a strategy, you're just shooting in the dark.
Mm-hmm. That makes total sense. Dude, well, okay, tell me a little bit about your company. What do you offer your clients if, finally on the 4th video they hit you up, they message you, what do you offer them?
Yeah, so, well, we try to do an intro call. We want to see if they're a good fit, right? So my whole spiel when I first talk to them is, look, if we're a good fit, meaning we can get you from point A to point B, where you are now and where you're trying to go, then we'll do business. But if we're not, we'll just point you in the right direction. So there's no sales pitch coming, there's no BS. It's just like, can we help you? Cool, let's do it. And so what we do is we either generate leads for people, help them build their brand, teach them to build their brand, or kind of a combination. So single agents are usually the ones that need more of the brand building, not necessarily lead generation, right? Like, start off slow. You don't want to, if you start getting hundreds of leads, but you don't have time to follow up with them, like we earlier talked about, you're kind of setting somebody up for failure. Mm-hmm. For the most part, not everybody. Now, when you go with a group, like somebody that's got all of their systems in place, drive as many leads as possible. They can take it, right? They've probably already got a lot of the branding. Their agents can still learn how to do it. But I guess in like a basic outline, we do group coaching with teams. So if some real estate broker has 10 to 150 agents and they want to fly us out, we'll go in there one-on-one just like this and coach them all of their agents. And then if, they just want it for one person, or if they want to train like a creative director or somebody, we do that as well.
Dude, that's some cool stuff. And then lastly, how do we get a hold of you?
LazyCowMedia.com/real estate. And if you just go to LazyCowMedia.com, you can click on the real estate tab and you can fill out a form and talk to me if you want to.
And what about social media?
Find me on Facebook, Kevin Pheley, Pheley, and I'm actually tagged in this video, so if you guys see me, and for the people on the podcast, that's it, Kevin Pheley.
Kevin Pheley, boom, Facebook, and there it is.
There you go. And if you find us on Facebook at Business Bros Pod and look for this interview, Kevin, you definitely are tagged, and so is your viral video.
Awesome. Oh, great.
Love that.
I love it.
All right, man. Lastly, who do you think would be a great podcast guest?
Have you had Dean Aguilar yet?
Yes, sir.
You have?
Dean the man, Mr. Truth Hustle.
But he's due for a part 2.
Yeah,
he's out there
with.
The
yeah, he's out there with. We had Dean and Aphrodite.
Yep.
Dean's out with Mike Pheley, I think, doing some event this weekend. He's emceeing that whole thing.
Yep. Yeah,
so he's in New Orleans. So big shout out to him, dude. Do your thing. Stay on fire. He's giving everybody else compliments, but that guy,
Truth Hustle, man,
dude, that guy is a beast.
Yep. Yeah.
And then every time, Dean, I'm giving a shout out to your Truth Hustle stuff, dude. Every time you put stuff out, it's a couple minutes of just hardcore knowledge. I mean, it's just it is what it stands for. It's Truth Hustle.
So when it comes to content creation, the first time I had a meeting with Dean, I walked into his office and boom, there was a guy with a camera right there. And I was like, okay, so you're doing this real. Like, he's got like Gary V's got D-Rock following around with the camera, and he's got that too. So he's going to be way ahead of everybody else content creation wise.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the whole point is he's talking to so many people and helping to educate so many people on a daily basis that every time he's recorded, it's just a small snippet of his day that's giving out the content that he needs, that people need.
Yep.
And that's why, I mean, that's why he's emceeing the stuff he's emceeing today.
Yeah.
That's why he's killing it the way he's killing it. That's why people want to go to his to be part of the Dean Aguilar group. I mean, it's a huge testament to what he does, and he's just being like humble, man. He's just out there trying to help you succeed.
Those are the guys that win.
Those are the guys that win. So big ups to you. Hope you're enjoying New Orleans out there. Hope you're having a good time. We're gonna get you back on the show because I just want to know what's going on with him. So, or at the very least, I'm gonna pop in your office one day and just kind of catch him off guard and
Bring all the stuff.
Bring all the stuff.
Do it.
Maybe not podcast, but
he's watching right now, so you gave him fair warning.
all right,
What's
Dean.
up,
So I
Dean?
give you fair warning, buddy. I'm gonna stop by your office sometime soon when I get my vlogging stuff in order, so that my camera guy can camera your camera guy.
There you go. And Oli says what's up to everybody too.
What up, Oli?
What's up?
We still got to get on your show. Hit me up. All right, man. Dude, thanks for being on the show, dude.
Dude,
It was
thank you for having
so
me.
much. I mean, so much information. You made my light bulb pop, so now I know exactly what I'm gonna do as I'm collecting more content.
I love it.
And it gives me a reason to structure what I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? It allows me the opportunity to say, okay, I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, and this is what I'm gonna do for 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, and put that content out there.
There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we love you guys. If you guys, by the way, 365 pairs of shoes is still the goal for the end of the year. If you guys got any gently used shoes, 619-884-0045 or James at csfirst.com. He'll ride out there in his Harley. Go pick up those shoes from you guys. We love all the donations we've had. We've had cash donations. We've had shoe donations. We've had, I don't think you've had to pick any up yet.
I am waiting for somebody to get back from a staycation, and I will be swinging out to pick a few up.
So cool. So we're well on our way. So we'd love to, meet that goal. Actually, we'd love to exceed that goal. But first things first, we got to get to the finish line before we can keep going.
Yeah,
so
we got a 10 exit.
we do got a 10 exit.
We got a 10 exit.
So if you guys got anything, let us know. If you want to be on the show, Hernan at csfirst.com or hit me up, 619-884-0045 is your number. Sorry, 619-884-4915 is my number. Text me, call me, hit me up, even if you just want to chat. We'd love to have you guys on the show. If you want to follow us on our social at Business Bros Pod. Kevin, my brother, thanks a lot, man.
I appreciate
it.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Kevin's got to get off to a softball game. He's got to crush it out there too. All right, guys, we love you guys. That's all we got
Peace.
for you guys today. Peace.
Bye-bye.
And I'm out. Facebook, we love you.
Appreciate you, Facebook.
You guys are awesome. Oh, crack in the back. You
There we
did
go.
Cool stuff. Yeah,
That's
I
it.
knew I was gonna sit down with you. Like after
That's
we
the
talked
show.
Just on
Are we still live?
no. You can have this.